The TBI is investigating after Chattanooga police shoot and kill a Hamilton County Corrections deputy. Good evening, I'm Calvin Sneed.
And I'm Latricia Thomas. Chattanooga police say they found Daniel Hendricks holding a gun on Shawnee Trail this morning and opened fire when he refused to put that gun down. We have team coverage tonight. Hannah Lawrence is live in the studio with a look at Hendricks' background. But we begin with Stephanie Sanastasi live at the scene. Stephanie, what have investigators said so far about this shooting?
Calvin and Latricia, behind me is the home where Daniel Hendricks and two off-duty Chattanooga police officers celebrated a birthday party last night. Yesterday, Hendricks turned 26. His party ended in gunfire. As night turns today, the investigation into why Chattanooga police officers shot Daniel Hendricks continues. Chattanooga Deputy Chief David Roddy says the call first came out as a disorder, and they soon learned one of the people inside had a gun.
One shot was fired prior to our arrival.
Once the officers got here,
they encountered two off-duty Chattanooga Police Department officers that had left the residence where the disorder had occurred, and other CPD officers encountered an armed suspect outside that residence. During that encounter, unfortunately, CPD officers were forced to shoot the armed suspect.
That suspect, Hamilton County Corrections Officer Daniel Hendricks. It didn't take long before District Attorney Neil Pinkston requested the TBI to come in and take over this investigation.
Witnesses reported the officers gave verbal commands for Hendricks to drop the weapon, but he apparently did not comply.
TBI spokesman Josh Devine says a Chattanooga police officer fired at least 4 times at Hendricks. He died at the hospital.
We have recovered a firearm believed to be the one Hendricks used during this incident.
The TBI says Hendricks pointed his personal weapon at officers, not the one issued by the county. They're not sure yet if alcohol played a role in Hendricks' actions last night. They're hoping that the autopsy results will show that. For now, reporting live in Chattanooga, Stephanie Sanastasi, News Channel 9.
Thanks, Stephanie. That shooting startled neighbors who heard all the commotion. Anita Franklin has lived on Shawnee Trail for 20 years. She says the shooting woke her up, and then she saw police everywhere. She says only one thing was going through her mind.
I was in shock because I was like, oh my God, then somebody got killed. To hear something like that and somebody lose a life, I hate for anybody's family to have to go through that. Anybody's family, no family should go through that.
This isn't the first time Deputy David Hendricks' judgment has been called into question.
Hannah Lawrence joins us now with a look at his record as a corrections officer. Hannah.
Calvin and Latricia, Hendricks worked at the Hamilton County Jail, but in 2015 he was suspended for an incident that happened while transporting a woman to Silverdale. He was indicted by a grand jury for assault, but according to court records, his charges were dismissed. In this surveillance video, you can see Officer Daniel Hendricks trying to grab the legs of an inmate before throwing her on the ground and repeatedly punching her in the face. He was placed on paid administrative leave while the sheriff's office investigated this situation. These are pictures of Hendricks on his Facebook page. Today, Sheriff Jim Hammond says Hendricks returned to work after the woman in this video didn't show up to testify against him.
In this particular case, there were no charges that stood against him, so we would have done some retraining. We would have probably noted in his file what the situation was, but there was no reason for us to think that incident had any bearing on what happened last night.
However, Hammond says Hendricks should have known how to handle a gun in a situation like last night's because of his training with HCSO.
You would think so. And again, I don't know what happened till we see the report.
HCSO says its corrections officers don't carry weapons in the jail, but other duties like the jail transport Hendricks was completing in this video require corrections officers to be trained to carry just like a deputy on the street. For that reason, Hammond says deputies go through several psychological tests and background checks. He says Hendricks passed them all.
I have no reason to believe that what happened in this incident was related to any failure on our part of vetting.
The sheriff says that vetting process can take up to 3 months. We've requested Hendricks' personnel file from the sheriff's office. He had been employed with the department since 2013. Calvin.
Thanks, Hannah. We reached out to Hendricks' family, who told us they are asking for privacy during this time.